Edit, ex-wife left for AP and returned after 10 years and asks to take her back. Me 34M, my ex-wife 35F, call her ex, my neighbor AP, my neighbor's wife 37F, call her M. Me and my wife married in 2009. We had our baby in 2010. In November 2010, while she was asleep, a message pooped on her phone and was a flirty message. I checked on her phone and it was from our neighbor. I went through every single message, which included texting, sharing nudes, and even had planned meetups at hotels. This was going on from the first week into our marriage. I felt like my world crumbled in front of me. I took screenshots of every message and saved on my phone. Next day I contacted M and let her know about the affair. They were married for 4 years, and had their first baby almost exact same time as we had ours. I confronted my wife and told her that I am going to give her divorce. She started crying and everything else, but I did not consider it. I also did paternity test on our child's son because the affair timeline was same as conception date. After 2 days, when I come home from work, our baby was crying in our bed and X was nowhere to be seen. Then I found a letter of her telling that she did not love me and she had left with AP, and to not contact them. I knew this was coming, but I didn't believe that a mother can leave her child was about 6 months alone and can run off with her lover. I then went to M's house. She had received same letter by her husband. I felt sorry for her as she was going from postpartum depression, had her baby just a few months ago, and was left alone. Also, paternity test result came back and he was my son. I tried to contact ex-family, but they also didn't know where she was and was shocked by her behavior. Her father even said that if she ever came back she would not be allowed to enter their house. They basically disowned her. L was very supportive. She began coming to my home to watch kids and even breastfed both of them, her and mine. As time passed, we were like family. My son called her mom and had known only her as mom. We also decided to go on dates. We engaged a year later and married in 2013. We had our first child in 2015. We often discussed things about our exes and how we were often disrespected by them. We were happy family. In 2018, when my son accidentally saw a picture of my ex picture after birth, so it included ex, me and him, so we decided to tell him that her birth mother ex had died in car accident years ago, and L took care of him since he was 6 months old. 2 days ago, I received an anonymous email. I opened it and it read, "I want to see my son and want my family back. We are not divorced yet." I knew it was X. I showed this to L. L started freaking out and asked me if I would take her back. I calmed her down and told her that she was an ugly past and I would never leave you. I would never take her back. Now I am confused what to do. I will definitely not take her back, but should I let her meet my son or not? Should I take my son's opportunity to have connection with her birth mother? Edit, thank you for such response. I have missed a lot of detail to tell you guys. First is that I have divorced her before marrying M. I think she don't know as she was nowhere to be located. Second is that I have written L instead of M by mistake. I had full custody of my son as X was nowhere in the picture, but now she is back, so I don't know if my full custody will be maintained or not. Redditors reactions update after. Redditor 1, absolutely not. She was toxic 10 years ago, and obviously hasn't changed. She will end up hurting all of you so much more than she already had. No. Coming from a child abandoned by their mother who only showed up every 3 years because stepbrother's dad tried to convince her she needed to be part of my life. Redditor 2, I've been in a family dynamic similar to this. In my experience, it would do more harm to your son than good. When he is 18 you can tell him the whole story and let him decide. As an adult, your ex made the decision to leave. If you truly did get a divorce, I would fight with everything I have to maintain custody. She left. You stayed. She's holding on to the past. You're building a new future. She is not going to be a part of your future story. When the time is right, you can give the choice to your son. Redditor follow-up, I would not wait too long to tell the son because I think the ex would maybe try to contact him and manipulate the truth to make up look like the bad guy. Redditor 3, 1 Telling the kids that your ex died is wrong. You should never have done that. Your son, and likely your other kids, will need therapy, or at the very least, you should consult a psychologist to get advice regarding how to tell them the truth. The more you lie, the likelier he will eventually go live with her and believe whatever excuse she gives him. 2 Assuming you have an actual judgment that gives you full custody, you can ignore her communication entirely or get a lawyer to send her a letter saying visitation is not in the child's best interest. You can then either wait for her to file in court asking for visitation, or you can proactively attempt to have her parental rights terminated, perhaps also having his actual mother adopt him. Child support doesn't usually have an impact on custody, but a reminder that she has not paid child support for 10 years and that there are still many years left where it should be due can help as well. However, only through formal lawyer letter, not by responding directly. 3 You might not be able to prevent visitations from happening. At the very least, ask for a very slow progression with short visits, supervised by a social worker or psychologist. 4 Did your wife's ex-husband reappear as well? Expect that he might show up too. 5 Don't panic. Redditor follow-up, hey, op. This is really solid advice. Also, I'd like to emphasize 1. You have dug yourself in a lie. Do not continue to dig yourself further. Understand that children may not be able to see the big picture, but that doesn't mean you should deny them parts of their life. His bio-mother is his bio-mother, and if he decides he wants her in his life after therapy or when he is older or what have you, then you cannot deny him that without building resentment between you. Definitely pursue therapy, though. Also, there are lots of law firms that specialize in helping fathers with custody battles. Know that you are already disadvantaged going into the courtroom, so the fight might be long and difficult. I'm sorry the justice system will treat you the way it will. Update, ex-wife left for AP and returned after 10 years and asks to take her back in my life. Update. Thank you for such a response. A lot has happened since the last time. Also, I didn't wanted to post the update as many people in comments thought it as fake, but till this day, I am getting messages of updates, so I decided to update you all. So let's start by saying this, that we didn't require court or lawyer. Some of you claimed that she would have no parental rights over my son as she had abandoned us years ago. To confirm the claim, I contacted my friend who is a lawyer and confirmed that she could face heavy fine, termination of parental rights and jail. I told him about the time period of abandonment and asked what were the chances of winning in my case. He told me that if a parent fails to contact physically to child for over a year, 99% he/she is given termination of parental rights. I had a sigh of relief after listening those words. I also joined therapy with my son so that I can tell him the truth about his biological mother. As I wanted to find out that why she contacted me after 10 years, I messaged her father, who is still a best friend of mine and gives me some good advice whether X contacted his family or not. Turns out that she had contacted her sister for money time to time for 10 years, but now her sister is not willing to help her as she was asking a bit more money. I asked him about her conditions and whether introducing her to my son would be good idea or not. He answered by saying, she just has a minimum wage job and lives in small apartment with 3 roommates. By listening him saying this, I felt bad for her, but she earned it. He said that she would have a bad influence on our son, so it's better not to introduce him to X. Next, I called her sister and asked her what were their conversations like in past 10 years. She told me everything. How X contacted her only for money because after paying rent, she had no money left for groceries and other utilities. X never asked about my son but only for money. I asked her about relationship between X and AP, to which she replied, he is in prison for sexual assault since 2015. I don't know why, but I felt happy upon hearing this news. I asked her whether X knows about the divorce or not. She said X has no idea about the divorce and she still think that we are legally married. I asked her to tell X about everything: divorce, child custody, my new family, and that she has no right over my son. I told everything to M, and she was a bit surprised by X's behavior. She never thought that a mother can be so careless towards her own child. She was shocked to hear the news about AP. It's been 30 days and X has not contacted us. Family counseling is going great and we have decided to legally adopt one another's kids. I don't think X will contact us. Her sister might have told her about her position in case legally, and that she would just waste money by hiring an attorney. If something happens, I'll update you guys. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, wow, this is a really rare one to read after 10 years to wanting to come back. Based on what you wrote, your ex is just looking out for herself. Looking for a place to stay. She's so desperate that she was willing to contact you. Glad that you've done your research by contacting everyone that knows your ex to understand what's going on with your ex. Sound like you have everything under control with a wonderful family. Please don't ruin it by introducing your ex. Redditor 2, sounds like you are doing well. Good luck to you in the future. Also, your ex is absolute human garbage and deserves everything. Redditor 3, I'm surprised you guys didn't go for termination of rights when you first had the opportunity, considering you told your son that she died. My only sliver of advice would be to talk to a professional about lying to your child about their parent being dead. That is going to be a shell-shocking moment for them when they inevitably find out they have been deceived.